Hi, everybody. Hope you're enjoying this series on Hilchos Shabbos. Continuing along with the halachas of Erev Shabbos as we get closer and closer to Shabbos. I'm going to discuss a couple of halachas that it says in Bameh Madlikin for those who say Bameh Madlikin on Friday night, so you'll be familiar with these halachas. Two halachas we're going to point out towards the end of Bameh Madlikin. In the final Mishnah in Bameh Madlikin it says, three things a person has to say in his house as it gets towards nightfall. Isartem, erabtem adligos haner. Isartem, did you take off meiser? Not so negay for us. We don't have meiser in Chutz. Erabtem, our minig is to make an erev once a year, and for those who rely on the city erev, the Rav does it. I actually have one. I have a block erev on my block, and I did make an erev on erev Pesach, but even so, it was just once a year. Our minig is to do it once a year. I put it on a high shelf, and the erev, which of course refers to the matzah that everybody joins together in, is sitting on the top shelf in my dining room. So if you ever come to my house over the course of the year, please do not eat that box of matzah sitting on the top shelf in my dining room. But it's only once a year. But what is very negay to us is the fine halacha of the Mishnah, hadliko es haner, you light the ner. Hadliko es haner is not a question, did you light the ner? Hadliko es haner is a command, light the ner. It's brought in halacha. A person should say softly, make sure you light Neiros. This is a chiyuv on every head of household to make sure that the lights, that the Neiros Shabbos are being lit. And it's brought down in halacha that even if somebody is not home, he still has an obligation to call home or to text close to Shabbos with a reminder, Hadlakas Neiros is at this time, make sure you remember to light. That is a legitimate chiyuv brought in Shulchan Aruch to say, to remind and to command softly that the Neiros Shabbos should be lit. Okay, second halacha for today is that after the Mishnah Bameh Madlikin at the end we say Tanya Chananya Omer Chayav Adam Lemashmish Begadav Erev Shabbos Im Chashecha. A person is required to feel in his begadim, feel his pockets, check, make sure that there's nothing in his pockets as it gets close to dark. Shema Yishkach V'Yisei might forget and go out. Amar Rav Yosef Hilchos Rabs LaShabbos. Rav Yosef says this is a very big halacha for Hilchos Shabbos. So now my question is as follows: this is a very big halacha, but it's something which most people don't do, because many people rely on the erev, and therefore they don't do it. But really, it's a halacha brought in Shulchan Aruch. It's a shaila whether it's a chiyuv or something good. The lashon of the Shulchan Aruch is mitzvah. It's a good thing to do. The Bir halacha, the Chavetz Chaim brings from the Gra that no, it's a real chiyuv to check your pockets. So now, unfortunately, many people don't do it. The reason being because I carry everywhere in the city. Let's say I rely on the city area, so why do I need to bother checking my pockets? But still, you have to check your pockets. First of all, the city area does not extend indefinitely. Now, it could be that you never really walk past those train tracks east of Western, but technically you could. So it's not like So that would be one reason to check your pockets. I would offer two explanations, and this is just from myself. This is not, I can't source this, is just my own shot, two pshatim. One shot is that maybe you're also checking your pockets for muksa. It's not, perhaps, even though it seems to be that it's for carrying, but you want to make sure that you don't have muksa in your pocket. You want to make sure you don't have a dollar bill or a quarter in your pocket. That would be another reason why to do it. And finally, I want to suggest, I heard about I remember somebody in Eretz telling me that he lived in Yerushalayim, and he went with his kid, a Yerushalmi Yid, who went with his kid, and they went on vacation to some moshav somewhere in the north, and his kid went out carrying on Shabbos, and he said to him, Shabbos, and the kid looked at him like he's crazy. He said, "You're carrying it." The kid had no idea what he was talking about, because the kid grew up. He spent every Shabbos of his life in Yerushalayim, and they relied on the Erev, and everybody used the Erev, came out, everybody used the Erev in Yerushalayim, and he's like, what? He never heard of this thing called carrying. So perhaps a reason why a person should get into the habit of checking his pockets before Shabbos is just to remind himself, remind his children, that there is something called carrying. And the kid's going to say, Abba, why are you checking your pockets? And the father will say, because you're not allowed to carry outside. Now, it's true we have an Erev over here, but still, Chazal said that since there is an Isser to carry outside, that's why we check our pockets. So that could be two additional pshatim, why one should check their pockets even if they keep the Erev. But in any event, that's certainly something which a person should do, because Rav Yosef says in the Gemara, Hilchos Rabbi Shabbos, it's a very important halacha for Hilchos Shabbos. I hope that the pshatim that I've said find favor in your eyes. Have a great day. And Mr. Hashem, tomorrow we're going to get started with the nitty-gritty of preparing food. Leaving food on the crock pot and all the halachas of a blech and the halachas of how to leave food on a fire for Shabbos.